This is a video essay on In the Woods Somewhere by Hozier and Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Ever since I first began as a writer when I was 17, I had a few favorite pieces of poetry and a few favorite songs that really inspired my writing style and literary interests. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas was one of those poems, and In the Woods Somewhere was one of those songs. One of the biggest reasons they were both favorites of mine is a theme that they both share. In my interpretation, at least, that theme is death, or rather, dealing with death. In both of these writings, you don't find many surface-level similarities, but rather in its emotional conveyance. You find that in both of these instances, the subject is encountering death and reacting, mainly to save itself from its own death. Let's start by looking at the first 3 verses of Hozier's song. My head was warm, my skin was soaked. I called your name till the fever broke. When I awoke, the moon still hung, the night so black that the darkness hummed. I raised myself, my legs were weak. I prayed my mind be good to me. In these verses, I find a person awoken in sickness and darkness, implying that he is nearing death. And he remarks on his frail life, indicating a sense of futility in his living. Then we look at the second and third body of Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. In this, Dylan remarks on the lives of men who know that darkness, or death, the same metaphor used by Hozier, is the expected end to their days, because their words had forked no lightning. Again, here you see Dylan remark on a similar frailty, a futility of life, but these men, despite their unimpactful lives, fight against death. He used the word lightning, which almost makes me think that he's calling back to Frankenstein, and even in modern times, how electricity is often depicted or literally used to resurrect, to defy death and bring back life. From the 7th verse in Hozier's song, it reads, his bone exposed, his hind was lame. I raised a stone to end his pain. What caused the wound? How large the teeth? I saw new eyes were watching me. The creature lunged. I turned and ran to save a life I didn't have. He's referring to a fox he's found screaming in the woods, injured and dying. He takes a rock and puts it out of its misery, but wonders what it is that injured it first. I think the creature that's responsible, living in the darkness of the woods, is death, and when it lunges at him and gives chase, he's escaping death and holding dearly onto his already frail life. In the fifth body of Dylan Thomas's poem, he writes, "Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light." What he's saying here, I believe, is that when man is old and dying, even crippled with blindness, he can experience happiness yet and enjoy what life he has left. Therefore, he must fight or escape death. He must rage against the dying of the light. They both are encountering death. They both have lived with frailty, futility, and sickness, and in the face of that darkness, they feel an urge, a rage, to fight it off, to say that life, any life, is better than death. Much like Hozier, he finds meaning in life. Although that life is crippled and frail, it is life, and so you should fight to stave off the darkness, to not go gentle into that good night.